Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, what an absolutely gorgeous day. I woke up really early this morning and I actually went on a walk around the neighborhood with one of my friends out here. And it is just beautiful. I'll tell you what, you can hear, all the birds singing and just feels like spring is in the air. Nature is coming back to life. And I'll tell you, it looks like March is going to be a fantastic month. Now, of course, for us, there's a lot of anticipation with respect to our Ripple versus SEC case and getting a decision this month. So we'll see how that all plays out. And later on today, I'll have another video, a fantastic one out for us and stuff like that. But guys, this morning I was reading an article that really tweaked my interest, and this one is on the automotive industry and particularly Ford. So Ford is out there and applying for patents that will allow them to remotely shut off your air conditioning, your power windows, your heated seats, all of the bells and whistles in your car. Now they're reporting, hey, we're not necessarily going to apply this technology, but we got the patents out there because, somewhere down the line and this and that. And then they're actually calling it like our repossession technology, kind of like, people don't pay. We'll make it uncomfortable in the car, and that might help them if they're late to catch up, shut off the air conditioning when it's 100 degrees and that kind of stuff. But guys, really, I think it has a lot more to do with something else. I was reading another article on the same type of topic, but little bit different, related at least. But anyway, I guess a lot of car manufacturers are going towards a subscription-based model. Let me explain. So your car is going to be built, of course, with all of these features in there. Air conditioning, heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that kind of stuff. It'll be all built in. But you're going to have to end up paying a subscription service to use it, like heated seats. Imagine having to pay $50 a year if you want to have your heated seats turned on every year, even though the hardware's right in there. And then air conditioning. It wouldn't surprise me if down the line, they can turn on or shut off your air conditioning, and that becomes a subscription-based service. And what that's all about, guys, when the WEF has come out and said, by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy? And it's because of this. Guys, it's about planned obsolescence. Now, planned obsolescence was the brainchild of a, economist back there in the 1930s during, the Great Depression. And the idea was, well, hey, look, things are being built where a person just goes out and buys it and it can last for decades and stuff like that. Why don't we have things built that will actually only last a year or two? And then we've got it'll become obsolete and people have to go out and buy it again. And of course, then you can also craft that right into your legislation where, you need to renew a license for this and such, or that, hey, look, you can't be driving around a vehicle that's certain age or this or that or on and on and on. And it's that whole planned obsolescence deal. So when they tell you, hey, look, by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy, it doesn't mean you'll have nothing. It just means you won't own it. So basically, in that capacity is, yeah, you can have a car. Maybe. I mean, in some of these places, look in California, they're saying, hey, we don't want any combustion vehicles by 2030. And so darn well that they're looking down the road at what vehicle ownership will look like in that state and ride sharing and all of that, because there's no way that the grid could take all the car ownership that's there now. If they were plugging in at night, the grid would be down every day. So, down the road, we're not thinking like that car ownership is going to be that big of a thing out there. But anyway, what we're talking about when you're looking at that is the whole idea of, look, you're going to pay for this and this and that. Now, what's that going to do? Well, number one, it's going to generate residual income for all of the manufacturers and the investors and all that kind of stuff. But what's it going to do for you and I? Well, guys, obviously, when you take away your expendable cash, like things that you have now that you don't have to pay for, but down the road you're going to have to pay for, well, obviously, that's going to take funds away from your expendable cash. Now, how do you save when you got that going on? when you have all these extra expenses and thus and such and things like that. If you want heated seats, you're going to pay for that. You want air conditioning in your vehicle, you're going to pay for that. You want cruise control, going to pay for that. On and on and on. And a subscription service. And that's just with vehicles. Don't kid yourself. They're going to have that with all these other services as well. And we've seen it in other industries. Think of the television. When television came out, you bought your set and you got the shows free over the airwaves. I remember that. You'd get, and we didn't have as many channels, sure, but we would get at least those 2 to 13 channels. They'd be all free in the year. And then of course, you got cable that came out, gave you a few more channels. Then you got satellite, gave you a few more channels. Now we've got subscription services with Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, on and on and on, Amazon Prime, and on and on and on. And a lot of folks don't even subscribe to cable. They just get internet and they utilize all these subscription-based services. So how they're getting their entertainment, that way is all subscription-based. Well, you're going to start seeing that in a lot of industries, and that's going to change the economy big time. And it is, and when you consider that, you kind of have to look forward and think, okay, well, what other things could they, apply like that on a subscription base that people way back before never even had to pay for? Look, I've got satellite radio in my car and I love it, and it's a subscription service. But look, a lot of time when before all that, all you had was your AM and FM, and all you had to do is have the device and things like that. And of course, cars still have that in there now. That's, available. But reality is satellite radio and all of these other subscription-based services are really taking a big, big market share out of all of the services that people didn't. And the point I'm making is this. All of these new subscription services are going to impact our lifestyles. Why? Expendable cash, right? You're only going to have so much expendable cash because a lot of it is going to be going to pay for all these subscription services. So is that going to affect how many times a month you go out to eat? Probably. Do you think that's going to affect, the vacations you take? Most likely. Do you think that's going to even affect how people are able to save? Certainly, guys. Most people were in this debt-driven economy, and we've been convinced that, hey, look, we need all these various things, and gone are the days where you had that delayed gratification. You built that stewardship in you, and you saved for the future, and you actually had something down the road that you could utilize to really improve your situation and through investment. Now, as investors, like what we are, that is something that is really on top of mind, isn't it? Because it's with our expendable cash that we're willing to go out there and risk it and invest into this space. And if you have a diminished amount like that where you can't save or invest, how do you think that's going to impact your financial future? Bingo, right there. That is the whole agenda. That is the whole point, guys. And that's what the world is moving towards. And it's definitely going to be a haves and a have-nots. And imagine, who do you think is going to become richer and richer and richer off of these subscription type systems? You guessed it. It's going to be all those folks that have already been established. The establishment up here is just going to get wealthier and wealthier. What's going to happen to the people that are paying for those subscription services? You guessed it. Lifestyle is going to kind of come down, isn't it? So you're going to see a major, major gap between the rich and the poor. And in a way, it's literally the abolition of the middle class. It's literally, the total destruction of the middle class and this capacity. Most folks now, do you know, and I say this a lot in my coaching because it just mesmerizes me. There's a statistic out there that majority of American households, if they had $1,000 car repair, could not pay it with cash, would have to use a credit card for it. That is absolutely crazy. $1,000. Most folks don't even have that much money sitting in the bank for a rainy day. And a lot of these folks have high 5-figure and 6-figure jobs. And the thing is that they're just being put in a situation where a majority of that income is having to be spent just to live, just on mortgages. mortgages, just on car payments, just on school fees for the kids, just. And now all of these subscription services. So when Ford comes out and they say, oh, we're just applying for these patents, just kind of testing out the technology, don't kid yourself. You're more than likely going to see the implementation of this happen in a big way, and it's going to affect us in a massive way in terms of expendable cash and our lifestyles. Don't kid yourself. Well, guys, tell you what, it's Monday and it looks like it's gearing up for a fantastic week. And I hope you're having a great one. I hope you're having a great start to your week, that's for sure. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fantastic day until later on when we have our video to release to you later today. I hope you have a good one and take care.